Today, I'm back with another Mega Movie Number episode for you all. This is where we run down physical media by the numbers. We go ahead and take a look at the top 20 selling 4K Ultra HD discs of the previous week, and I give you my thoughts and recommendations on every single title. And then, of course, we get into the market share breakdown, where we look at DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks, see how well they're selling in comparison to one another. And then, of course, we get into some speculation on predicting the future of physical media, how it's doing right now in comparison to last year, and where we see it going next. First, if you love collecting physical media just like me and want to stay entertained and up to date on all these movie numbers all year long, go ahead and mega blockbust that like and subscribe. That way you keep up to date as we get new videos out there. And of course, leave in the comments below, what do you think is going to be the number one selling 4K disc this week? And how do you think physical media is going to do in the future? Let's get into these. Let's bring up this list. So at the bottom here, we got The Equalizer 3 from Sony Pictures. And I really like this action drama movie. Denzel Washington gives a powerful performance, and I really like the locales in here. So it's a worthy sequel. Next up, we got The Thing from Universal, which is John Carpenter's kind of horror thriller, really cool practical effects. And you got Kurt Russell starring. So really enjoy that one. Next up, we got Schindler's List from Universal. Very powerful, dramatic film from Steven Spielberg. It is a tough watch due to the subject matter and a very long movie, but I think everybody should see that one at least once in their life. Next up, we got Reservoir Dogs from Lionsgate, and they did a great job on the Steelbook. And I really like this Quentin Tarantino film. It's like a thriller mystery. You know how he edits and tells stories. So if you like that style, you're going to like this one as well. Really great acting talent there. Next up, we got Avatar from 20th Century. I just love the visual effects in Avatar. I like the story, Dances with Wolves in space. How can you go wrong with that? So I do enjoy that one. Next up, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse from Sony Pictures. And I thought this was one of the best films of the year. The animation was so gorgeous. The voice acting talent was fantastic, and really great cameos and Easter eggs in there. Next up, we got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny from Disney Lucasfilm. And I did not like this sequel here. I thought it went too sci-fi by the end, and some of the de-aging stuff looked a little wonky. Next up, we got Face Off from Kino Lorber. You got John Travolta and Nicolas Cage in an action thriller, and it's kind of some dumb fun. Next up, we got John Wick Chapter 4 from Lionsgate. And you know, John Wick Chapter 4 is just going to be on this list for all time. I was getting a little worried last week when it was at the bottom, but now I know it's just going to be on here until the next John Wick movie comes out. It's just the best 4K disc of the year. Great action, and just the locales, the cinematography is fantastic. Next up, we got Dune Part 1 from Warner, and I guess people are preparing for Part 2. It's going to come out soon, so Dune Part 1 just looks so nice. I mean, the sounds were fantastic on that 4K disc, so it is a worthy pickup. Next up, we got to have Avatar The Way of Water from 20th Century. You know, if the first one is on here, the sequel is likely to follow. And I really like this one too, with the visual effects. Swimming in the water with the Avatar characters was a great time, and I thought it improved upon the story. Next up, we got Barbie from Warner. Even though I'm not a fan of this one, I know a lot of people are, so I will celebrate that. It just did so good at the box office. So, hey, let's see how it does during award season. Next up, we got, of course, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 from Paramount. Really cool action set pieces in here with Tom Cruise doing some outrageous stunts. Can't wait for Part 2. Hopefully it ties up nicely. Next up, we got Trolls Band Together from Universal and DreamWorks. I actually had a fun time seeing this one in theaters. The music is really good, and it's probably the best out of the Trolls movies. So yeah, very solid watch, a great family film. Next up, we got The Expendables 4 from Lionsgate. Didn't really care for this one. It just wasn't great. The story was a little sloppy. Megan Fox's acting was awful, and so it just wasn't the movie for me. Next up, we got Thor: Love and Thunder from Disney and Marvel. Got a big discount on the Steelbook, of course, but don't really like this one. Too many screaming goats, just is too silly for me, unfortunately. Next up, we got Black Panther: Wakanda Forever from Disney and Marvel. And I thought this was a definitely a decent sequel. It had some emotional moments at the beginning. Thought there were some cool action set pieces in there. So even though I prefer the first one, this was not a too terrible sequel. Next up, we're getting to our top ones here. We got a new one with Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 from Warner. Now, I've not yet seen this one. I do want to check it out eventually, but I know if this is a part 1, they're going to do a part 2 or maybe a part 3 even, and they'll probably put them all together on one disc by the end of it all. So I'm kind of waiting for that. But I do like that storyline in the comics. I am a sucker for DC animated films, so I will watch it eventually. Next up, we got Titanic from Paramount. I still need to see this 4K disc. I really like this movie. It looked great on Blu-ray. You can't go wrong with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. It's pretty much a romance disaster blockbuster. Very great historical movie. Really enjoyed that one from James Cameron. And then number one, if you guessed it, it was Oppenheimer from Universal. Of course, you can't go wrong with some Oppenheimer. The visuals, the sounds are great. Everybody loves this one. And I don't know, to me, a little overrated maybe, but it's okay. It's decent enough. I enjoyed my theater experience with it. Just don't know how the 4K disc looks and how it plays at home. But yeah, there's definitely some great acting talent there, and it's probably going to clean up during the rest of award season. So congratulations to Oppenheimer. All right, next we're going to look at the market share charts here to compare DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks, see if they dropped or increased in their percentage from last week. And we see 4Ks are about 10% now, and they had a little bit of a dip. That's what I was predicting. Just doesn't seem like 4Ks are doing so hot anymore. They're very niche, they're very expensive, especially as inflation and prices increase. It's going to be tougher for the average collector to kind of pick up on those 4Ks. But Blu-rays, we got to see how those are doing. Blu-rays actually went up just a little bit by a percent. I like Blu-rays, high definition. You can't really go wrong with that. And they're usually the best value in terms of price. You can find some really good deals on Blu-rays, and the quality jump up from a DVD, I think, is very important. Next up, though, we got DVDs at 62%. So they went up just a little bit, and DVD is still king. It's supreme. Everybody loves DVDs apparently still. They're a convenient, cheap option. And I will still pick up DVDs if that's the only way to watch the movie. If I don't have a Blu-ray option, I don't have a 4K option, I don't mind picking up a DVD at least just to get the story. I'm totally fine with that. Now, would I prefer it to be in HD? Of course, but I will work with what I have. I'm not going to mess out on a movie because it's only on DVD. Once again, mostly people just want to watch the movie anyway. They don't really care about the quality. So most people, at least the numbers show, just care about having the disc itself. But there we go. Those were the market share comparison breakdown percentages. So here to speculate now on what's happening with physical media this year. And I think I've seen articles or other people reporting that physical media sales in general have been going down. They've been decreasing. Now they still are bringing in millions and millions of dollars to these studios. So studios should still be investing some into physical media because they don't want to leave money on the table, of course. So even though, it's not for the general audience anymore, people aren't picking it up while they're grocery shopping. There's people out there that will still pick up these movies when they're in a Walmart possibly, or order a lot of stuff online. Amazon sells a lot of discs, of course, and then we got those great boutique label sites out there and some stuff in between. So I do think we're still going to be able to sell to collectors, no problem with physical media. Studios are going to make a little bit of money off of it, so they don't want to get rid of it completely, even though there are some stores purging it completely like Best Buy. That's going to be unfortunate. We're going to have to shift our in-person shopping at Walmart now. But hey, Walmart, last time I went in there, looked pretty organized with their physical media and had some cool looking stuff and some decent deals. So hey, maybe Walmart can really step up this year and really prove that they are now the new physical media spot. So like I said, it's going to go strong with collectors for at least the next 5, 10, 15 years. Who knows? But we know with the general audience, it will probably continue to decrease, especially in the months of February. Doesn't usually seem to be a hot month for movies in general, even at, the theaters as well. Just not really people are going out to the movies there. But I do think once we get into the spring and summer months, we'll have a rebound of physical media. It will increase a little bit with some new hot titles coming out. But is it going to go up that much? Probably not in comparison to previous years, but that's okay. But hey, all the disc formats seem to be selling a decent amount. I'm happy however people collect and watch movies. And so because I love talking movies so much, go ahead and join me in the comments below. What do you think of the top 20 selling 4Ks? What do you think of the market share breakdown? Where do you think physical media is going in the future? What formats do you love to collect and when? So let's have that, and go ahead and mega blockbust that like and subscribe on the way out. That way you stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics. And of course, jingle the notification bell so you are alerted when a new video posts. And of course, just make every day a movie day. And if you enjoyed this physical media topic, blockbust the next one right now. And thank you so much, my Mega membership supporters.